I think we're good to launch. I think we're good to go. Let's get it started.
Let's do it.
All right, so we still have the picks and bans. I still got the picks and bans here from the last game. We'll see if they're the same. We'll see if anything changes. And,
honestly, if the East Coast wants to allow West Rice to have a collie, let him have a collie. A collie was definitely nerfed a while back and not really able to get, involved in that game. So
yep.
I'd say the picks worked out pretty well for them.
So West Coast will now have first ban, first pick, and they will be on the left side.
I'm still kind of surprised by that Soraka pick, but at the same time, we saw this last game, they did kind of have a burst comp. They're trying to pick people off, win those early engages, and Soraka, counters that to a degree. It's also a very strong bot lane.
And I can't help but think that, because, I play a lot with, all the IPL guys. We play quite a bit. I play a bit with Rachel, and Rachel's favorite champ is Soraka. So I'm thinking, what did she do to anger East Coast? I don't know.
I don't know. But we do see the West Coast banning out Udyr. Lapaka, just a force to be reckoned with early in that game, coupled with the stun or the snares from Morgana. That follow-up stun was fantastic. And also, Lapaka, he's kind of an old, school player. He was with Curse. Yep. Back when Udyr was like the biggest jungler, we had Jat from Dignitas bringing out the Udyr, and Lapaka, really taking that. So it'll be interesting to see him put back into more of the common, jungles now. Udyr's still very strong, but see some more, some more varied junglers.
Yep. So Rise also being banned once again, but from Rise was banned out by East Coast last team. Now West Coast decided to ban him out. Vladimir being banned. So as opposed to last game, Ari's open, Shyvana's open.
Yeah, and those would both be very strong picks, but Janna, once again, does provide them with a lot of bot lane control, is, just fantastic for fights. So last time we saw East Coast with the first pick, Janna. Yep. Now West Coast has it. Janna just such a dominant champion in that bottom lane. Let's see if they can swing things in their favor.
Yeah, that's also a popular thing to do also in the pro. When you hit pro play, it's like, oh, you played this champ.
Yeah.
We got wrecked. You know what? We're going to pick this champ too. We're going to show you we can do it better.
Well, and also last game they had the 3 shields. They had that, great carry support comp.
Yep.
Able to keep them alive, coupled with the AoE. And once again, Morgana is going to be going to the East Coast team. Mm-hmm. So after last game, to see Takashi's Morgana again, that's going to be pretty exciting. But I would think that they're going to have a more aggressive mid that won't go down quite as easily as Kogbon.
Yeah, let's name some names out there. Like, what are some nice tanky AP mids we got?
Well, the big one's Rise. And Rise, of course, was banned out. The big thing is we do have, some later picks. I don't expect they'll be picking their mid now. They can kind of wait off a little bit, see where the rest of the team goes, because there's still Cassiopeia, one of the strongest champions in the game. She's really great against AoE fights teams, but Morgana, if Morgana can get the binds onto Cassiopeia, does pretty well against her. So I think Cassiopeia is a potential pick, but they'll want to wait to see what the rest of East Coast has.
And we also have the Alistar pick coming in from the East Coast. Now, Alistar is, I think, one of the most versatile champions in the game. He can play pretty much every role. Forget it. Get him a BF sword. He can do AD carry. Why not?
And that was the most painful thing before the new jungle changes came in. Having a jungle Alistar go and take those mini golems, be level 2, ganking top or mid. He could actually just go into your jungle, flash over the race, headbutt you back. You wouldn't even get a chance to use your flash. And so that's a really aggressive gank. I don't expect he'll be in the jungle, but that's exciting me even more because it means that we're going to have a kill bot lane for East Coast almost certainly, and that's what I wanted to see. So we'll see who they couple with it, if it's going to be a standard, AD, but Alistar definitely has that kill potential and can roam very successfully once he hits level 6, just tanking that turret, coming up behind you. You'd never expect it.
West Coast now also picking up Ziggs and Olaf. Hey, now Ziggs, very solid in mid, can definitely go ahead and plug away at that shield that Morgana has, but Olaf's been buffed recently quite a bit, and he's coming back.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious whether or not we'll see Olaf jungle or top lane. I think right now they have a very versatile team. They can, send him either way so that they can kind of see what's going on. We do have the Shyvana pick. So Shyvana, again, could go jungle or top lane. Is more likely going to be a jungler. We'll give them that fast jungle clear once again. But we saw with our Killing Spree series, Nintendude of Mono playing some excellent Olaf recently. He's a great late game carry. He has great jungling clear speed. Doesn't actually need to get a Wriggles. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Salse was actually talking about last night about how much he loves Ziggs, and Ziggs,
yes,
has great lane control, great poke, but I don't know. We'll see whether or not they can get ganks on him. Shyvana shouldn't be able to as long as Ziggs can explode himself out of the way.
So now we're figuring out who our last 2 picks for West Coast is going to be. Now, Corki has. We've seen Corki play quite a bit lately, but not to much success. It's kind of been really hit or miss. Like we've had our qualifiers and other recent large tournaments.
I mean, Corki's definitely a champion that. He doesn't really lose you games, and he has the potential to win you games, but more often than not, he's kind of a 50-50 champion. Through all of IEM, I think Corki went about 50% because he does give great control bottom. He can farm very easily, has those nukes, so he's not going to be shut down in lane, but he also has some good harass. So couple that with the Janna, they're going to have really aggressive harass, and then Tristana versus with Alistar, that's a really aggressive kill lane, even though it's an AD. We've seen Xpecial and Kaox running that a lot for solo mid. Yeah. Once Tristana gets a couple of levels, they have the double jump from both Tristana and Alistar. That's a lot of kill potential. Now
we have Warwick being thought about here. We may have our last pick for East Coast. Warwick, again, quite versatile. He can be top lane, he can be jungle. If you really want to run a Mage Wick, go mid, why not?
Yeah, though I am expecting to see Warwick top lane, it will be an interesting matchup, Warwick versus Irelia. Irelia definitely has some great sustain, but so does Warwick. And Warwick, the big thing with Warwick and Morgana coupled together, it's a huge snowball comp. We'll see Warwick should have pretty good control of top lane, but then maybe coming down mid.
Tryndamere. Have we been trolled?
Sion? Oh,
can we get a decision?
So Tree Eskimo on Sion, that's a really aggressive top lane. I was going to say Warwick with the suppress could come down mid and pose a huge threat to Ziggs, but Sion actually does very well against Irelia, should win the lane early. Irelia doesn't have enough damage to pop Sion's shield, so every time she's going to want to come into farm, she's going to get a Sion shield to the face. So Irelia's going to want to let the lane push into the tower and then turn it into a farm lane, but the stun from Sion, if he starts coming mid, they could pick up some easy kills with that.
Now you are right, Irelia does have a bit of a hard time popping the shield on Sion, but Ziggs does not. He can just go ahead and clear that thing instantly. So we may see some crazy lane switches going on here. We may see Ziggs top even.
That's definitely an option. The big concern with Ziggs top is he's not the most mobile champion. He does have the bounce to get him out of there. So against a jungler like Shyvana doesn't have the great ganking potential, so Shyvana's got to run in. Ziggs can just throw off his satchel charge, get out of there really easily. But my concern would be Ziggs coupled against the stun from Sion and whether they can pick up any kills there. So I think it's pretty likely we'll see Irelia top and actually a teleport on Tree Eskimo. Ooh. So they're really looking to get some aggressive map control. He recognizes that top lane will likely turn into him pushing Irelia into the tower and just kind of farming. So if they can, with all of these great damage dealers, all these great disables early in the game, pick up some kills, we could see, a repeat of last game.
Sion, so he's going to be using that teleport. He's going to be farming top lane as much as he can. Hey, there's a team fight going on? No problem. I'll hop on there right quick. So we have, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm really interested to see how Ziggs is going to perform, how Olaf's going to perform, because, let's see, West Coast, they have Janna now. So let's see if they can make the most of it. And again, for everyone at home, remember, tweet at us who you think is going to win. So tweet at Kingston HQ and at IGN Pro League. We're going to pick one of you. You can go ahead and win this 120 gig solid state drive from Kingston. Going home with one of you today.
I still can't believe we came up onto the stage to see that there. That's pretty special. But.
Yep. And once again, you still got loving AMD today, helping us out, providing everything we need. And, they're out there supporting esports, and we love you guys for it. So go ahead and remember, hop on Facebook, facebook.com/AMD, show them your love. So spectator delays about halfway done. We should be getting into this game in a little bit. But let's take we got some of the runes. Let's see if we get some of the runes going. Who we got? We got West Rice here. What's he running?
He's just running some standard defense. He has some movement speed. I was kind of wondering whether we'd run heavy magic resist. He'll definitely get some magic resist early against Sion. Once he gets that wit's end, he should be pretty strong in that lane. But we were actually kind of talking about it last night and saying that even with the wit's end, Sion can just stun, back off there, not able to provide a lot of control against Sion in that lane. But at the same time, Irelia, if she can farm well, does take off in that game. as the team fights, go later and later into the game, Sion is a very cooldown dependent fighter. Morgana as well, once her ultimate's down, if you don't pick up kills there, then she kind of just sits around. So as long as we have these heavy tanking champions, Olaf late game is fantastic, Aurelia late game is fantastic. Couple that with the shields of Janna, if they can survive through the burst damage that East Coast has, then they should be able to pick up some nice sustained fights later on.
Yep. And then we also have our battle of the junglers. We got Olaf and Shyvana. Do you think Shyvana's going to be doing that much counter jungling this game?
It's actually really interesting. Shyvana, one of her biggest strengths is that she's such a strong counter jungler. She can clear through the entire jungle and then still have time to gank. However, against Olaf is actually a little bit stronger 1v1 than Shyvana is. Olaf has the slow, so he can escape from Shyvana. He can chase her down with his slow, and he has the true damage. And Shyvana doesn't usually get very tanky as far as health. She usually gets tanky from resistance. She gets magic resist. She gets armor. And so that true damage is really going to hurt her in these fights. She did start off with the exhaust, though, which will give her a little bit more ganking capabilities, a little bit more control over the jungle. But I expect that we'll see her, just primarily clearing and seeing if she can put pressure on the lanes, even, though she doesn't have that much ganking potential.
All right, game is loading up. Everyone out there, if you think East Coast can go ahead and win this, let me hear ya. And if we got some fans of the West Coast, let me hear some screams for the Bay Life. I like it.
It's pretty good. I'll be honest. I'll cheer for West Coast this game. We want to see it go to a game 3, so that'll be nice.
Game 3's always good.
Yeah.
Game 3 is always good.
But one thing I'm kind of curious, I think Lapaka early on might try and pressure Aurelia in this top lane because Sion does have that stun.
Yep.
Lapaka, the stun will allow him to close the gap, and then he has a ton of damage with his Q. Will be able to burst down Aurelia a little bit. If they can put Aurelia behind in this lane early, that'll be huge. But the concern is the teleport from Sion. It does give him more fight control, but he won't have as much killing potential on Aurelia. So Aurelia should be safe farming up there. When you go teleport, you're definitely weaker in lane.
West Coast being on the defensive, East Coast they're getting in that river bush. They're looking for the invade. West Coast they're playing on the defensive end, possibly because of the last game. Not going so well for them, so they just want to be sure they can secure their blue, unlike last time. But right now, East Coast they're going in for the invade. But West Coast knows they have the ward. Will be able to get out on time. Dan is out in front. He throws down the axe. Quite a bit of damage going on. East Coast bombs going down.
I can't believe how much damage Ziggs just did there. They're actually
and right
chasing
on
after
Takashi X. Splits away from the group. Flash over the wall. Yes.
Wow, and so we have a really aggressive early game team with Alistar, with Sion, with Morgana. They have tons of disables.
Yeah.
But even though they were able to get the snare onto Dan Din, all of that damage from Ziggs early in the game, I can't believe how much it did. But it just really turned them away immediately.
Well, that's what Ziggs does. I mean, he's got explosive things everywhere. I mean, he's got bombs. Of course he's going to do a bunch of damage.
And I was actually kind of thinking that we might have seen the East Coast going into that bottom jungle to steal that red, because that's really key for Olaf. If he's able to hit an axe on you early when he's ganking, then he can just chase you down forever. The axes refresh when you pick it up, and then coupled with that red buff, you're basically going down. But to steal that red buff steals a little bit of his ganking potential. But with the blue buff, he will be able to clear very quickly and probably just try and farm up. Not seeing that much ganking, since all these lanes really just want to farm and just turn them into farm lanes.
Lapaka starting at red. Shyvana, not a mana-based champion, so she doesn't quite need blue as much as other junglers. So she can go ahead and afford herself that and possibly gank top. So Dan, he's got his health potion going. Tree Eskimo is a little far out.
But he's going to see him
he's
as
coming
these
around.
Minions.
Shield going up, true damage going down. Axes, he's being slowed. Will he be able to get out of there? He's got his flash, he's got his teleport up, so neither one is burned. But here comes Lapaka in the bush, gets chopped by the axe.
Yeah, Dan Din recognizing that Shyvana might be ganking top early, so wants to put some early pressure, because the big key to this game is going to be whether or not Aurelia can, free farm in this lane. Tree Eskimo should be fine. He does have the shield. He actually went cloth armor and 5 health potions, so he's going to have plenty of sustain in this lane with all those health potions. But Dan, once again, sitting in the brush, trying to chunk Tree Eskimo a little bit, is going to back.
Yeah. He slipped behind the minion wave into the first bush, but he didn't wait. There was still one minion up when he transitioned into the second bush, and he got spotted. So bot lane, Atlanta doing a fair amount of pushing. Tree Eskimo still top farming. Lapaka, now while Dan was up attempting to ganks up top, Lapaka just took that as a signal to go and farm a little bit, and Takashi X will actually go ahead and take the Wraiths for a little bit of XP, a little bit extra gold.
Yeah, and actually we see Lapaka and Takashi X coming into this red. Takashi is going to pull it, so it's actually not coming. There it goes. So they are going to be able to steal this. Olaf, he should be able to see it in a second now. We'll see whether or not he can smite steal it.
Does he know something's up? He knows something's up, but will he go around? He goes around the other way.
He assumed they were gone because they pulled it out of the brush.
And now he realizes, they were there.
But we do have Lapaka coming down bottom lane. Nat Nguyen and Atlanta are going to back off. They did have the good ward in the tri-brush.
Yes.
And it's really difficult for Shyvana to get in any early ganks. You're really just hoping that you can poke someone down, get a little bit of damage. But an early advantage to Shyvana.
And Tree Eskimo just cannot keep that shield going. So it's Aurelia's doing quite a fair deal of damage. Westrice is doing the job. When you're laning against AP Scion, your objective is to pop the shield. If you pop the shield, he has no means of farming effectively. Got you X in mid. He's got his blue buff, trying to get some hurt down in Salse.
Salse should be pretty fine just farming in this lane. Morgana tends to turn into a free farm lane unless you have a really weak laner like Cog that you want to take advantage of, and then Morgana definitely has enough damage. But Salse has the range, should be fine here. It'll be really important for Salse to once again get the blue buff. Wasn't able to get the first couple as Cog last game, but to be able to spam on Ziggs is going to be huge. And we actually have Dan Din coming up here, warding the red and trying to do a little bit of counter jungling here.
Lapaka taking his own golems, but Dan is now wandering up top, trying to get another attempt on Tree Eskimo, perhaps. We're gonna once again counter jungling those wraiths. While Salse has no option but to play defensively. Tree Eskimo does get the stun down on Dan. Shield does pop, so Dan's actually a little bit low. Stun, where are you? Got 3, 2, 1. Stun should be up, does not decide to use it.
Yeah, and if he had the ignite, then there's a great potential there for them to pick up a kill. Nothing doing. We'll see. I think both teams definitely have a lot of dragon control, so this game is probably going to be extremely defensive until that first dragon because neither team wants to give up an early advantage. And Shyvana getting vision of the blue. I'm not really sure what they're trying to do here. Trying to gank Olaf, actually. The blue shouldn't be up yet, but we have Takashi coming over to steal these wolves. Not going to get it. Wow, Mashmi almost picking up Atlanta bottom. So some really good aggression with that. Tons of damage from Tristana, and then the disables from Dyrus.
Yeah, the shields from Nat Nguyen don't really seem to be doing a whole boatload of stuff for Atlanta right now. They're being pushed to tower. Mashmi and Dyrus are just being super aggressive here down bot lane. I haven't seen a whole lot of presence down bot on terms of Shyvana here.
Yeah, and the big thing is that neither of these supports are very gankable. Shyvana and Olaf both need to run up on you. We do have the headbutt from Dyrus. We do have the whirlwind from Nat Nguyen, so it'll be very difficult for them to gank this lane. So it's just going to be about farming. And a lot of this is going to come down to those early dragons, and then we'll see whether or not these teams start trying to pressure the buffs a little bit more.
Westrice getting in on Tree Eskimo, doing whatever damage he can. Shield going up. No, he'll be able to farm a little bit more effectively now. Aurelia's decided to back off a little bit. Mashmi going back and going to do some purchasing, do some shopping. We got the gold for it, might as well.
I'd kind of like to see if they can get East Coast can get to the bottom lane to push back to their tower where Tristana would be safe at that lane. I would like to see a little bit of roaming from Alistar. See if he can kind of move around, help his team out, stealing those buffs, ganking those lanes.
Dan being a good guy, letting Salse take the blue. Gonna carry that back with him at 2 mid while Takashi X is just pushing all day long. Morgana's pool reaps en masse if you really just want to push a lane out.
Yeah, and the big thing is going to be, how the West Coast can farm through this early game, knowing that the East Coast has such an aggressive early game team. Don't allow them to win any big team fights. So, we're going to see some really defensive play early on. We did actually have Takashi stealing the blue wraith, so that's a little bit of a boon to him there.
Takashi X doing quite well, just counter jungling along with the Lapaka there. Getting their invades in whenever they can, whenever they need to. Tracer pushing Westrice to tower. Pings going down near Morgana.
And the good ward control from Lapaka, he knows that he's going to want to be extremely aggressive when this next red buff spawns. They're going to want to force a fight, maybe pick up a kill, and then force Dragon. So they will have that good ward coverage and just allow for free farming. And we do see bot lane Tristana actually having a little bit of an advantage over Corki. Even though Corki is one of those great farmers, and Corki is actually one of those champions that Atlanta used to be known for.
Wandering down, knows Dan's in the bush, decides to get in with the ult, flashes in, manages to finish off the combo. Will Dan die to Ignite? Yes, he will! First blood for Takashi X.
Yeah, and Dan didn't have his ultimate yet, so unable to get out of those binds, and now we have them coming for this red. It has just spawned. So not only do they get the kill, they're going to steal the red once again for Lapaka. And both games, we saw some great counter jungling from the East Coast and some great map control. For all that Lapaka has, kind of been out of the scene for a little bit. He was a really strong jungler back when he was with Curse. We'll see if we can see him, kind of make a resurgence after this.
So once again, we have the advantage here for East Coast. Down bot lane, Alistar, he's had great CC. But he also has those heals. Janna, she's only got the shields, so she has to do it preemptively, anticipating someone to get hit in order to protect her AD carry. And Trieste mode now we have a complete push team here from East Coast. Morgana has fantastic pushing power. Sion has fantastic pushing power. He's just attacking the tower. He's just ignoring West Rice.
And if they can push down these lanes really aggressively, Morgana has great clearing capabilities, Sion as well, then that opens up opportunities where the West Coast has to sit in these lanes and be very defensive, and it'll allow the East Coast to get some good fights with their early disables and maybe pick up an advantage there. Looking at the items, nothing really special. We do see Olaf, is going to be actually going for a Wriggles. I was kind of wondering whether or not he would just go for an early tank build. But I don't know, I would expect with the Madreds on Shyvana that we'll see her coming down for this dragon any second now. And actually she is.
And also I like the Aurelia build. We've seen this before. We've got double null magic mantles on her just for the extra magic resist. Sion is doing magic damage. She's gonna need that defense up top lane in order to sustain. But look at the mana on West Rice though. Kind of running low. Maybe probably gonna have to back sometime soon.
Yeah, and let me see. Doesn't have enough gold for a Wit's End yet, so not really in the strong position against Sion that he would like to be. But I believe that East Coast is grouping up for this dragon. We did have a pink ward from Shyvana here, and they're actually going to be pressuring Salsi out of this lane. And because they're pushing this mid lane, that probably signifies they're going for a dragon. Yes, they are coming down here.
Tristana, Alistar should be making their way shortly. We got Shyvana, we got Morgana going to hit start this dragon, try and get themselves a little bit extra gold when they kill it. When you do kill dragon, you do get bonus gold for your entire team. Fantastic objective to get, especially when you're in the position to do it. And they have all these fantastic wards. They've been offensive warding this entire game, usually around around the raids. We also had some earlier around the red buff. And East Coast knows exactly where West Coast is at all times necessary.
I just love that all the talk coming into this game is how strong the West Coast team is. I mean, they have all of Team Epic. They were joking around about how they were going to scrim without Dyrus a couple of games, but they had such a strong team, and yet we see this East Coast team, all these players that were voted in, taking some great early advantages with a really aggressive team. I mean, they've got a great team comp.
Yep, East Coast, I cannot say it anymore. They're all three lanes. Whenever they get the opportunity, they're just pushing. They're just gonna just wear them down over time with all their lane clearing capabilities. I mean, Sion's got the shield, Morgana's got the pool. Tristana and Alistar are just beastly together. And right now, Atlanta trying to get some damage down on Dyrus. He is caught out front, so he's gonna get chunked. He's going to retreat into the bush, headbutt pulverize onto Atlanta, and let's go ahead and retreat right back to tower when they can. And it looks like Salsa is going to go ahead and get blue buff once again. He's going to take that back with him into mid lane, do some more farming, and Takashi X, again, all game, he's been doing this, taking those raids.
Yeah, and I think the big thing, in order for the West Coast to take this game, they do have a very excellent late game team. Tristana, one of the strongest late game carries, but couple Corki with Olaf and with Aurelia, they definitely have the great sustain. And then there's also the fact that Morgana, she has the supporting capabilities with her shield, but all these physical damage champions, the shield is completely ignored by them. Physical damage abilities go right through her spell shield. So Olaf is going to be able to get his undertow. His true damage is also going to go through the spell shield, so they're going to have all of this damage that they can get onto Tristana if they can clump on her in fights, and then, you know, potentially win the long fights once they group up later in the game.
Mashmi has to retreat a little bit. Dandan's now made himself known in bot lane. East Coast will retreat back to tower. And Dan's trying his best to make something happen. Not a whole lot they can do. And granted, they have the pushing powers, but they also can retreat when need be. But Salsa is actually coming from the rear. They're going to go ahead. They're going to dive onto East Coast. Mashmi's trying to get away. Dyrus is out front. He has to pop the ult. Will he be able to get away? 4 members of the West Coast now in the bot lane. Dyrus flashes away. Flash ult. And the ult from Janna, pushing everyone away. Takashi X is now here. Lapak is here. Put on the front, and that win goes down.
Wow.
Salsa's going to go down. Triaskimos actually go down in top lane also. Mashmi, can we finish off Dan? Can we get Dan? He's running.
I wanted to see if Mashmi could get over that wall onto Dan, but there it is, that really great early game team. We saw the teleport in from Sion, able to pick up a number of kills there, getting extremely low. And once again, a red buff is going to go to the East Coast. Dan just can't hold on to him.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to tower dive a cow. That's just what happens.
Yes.
You just have to lay back and accept it. And even then, while the entire time was going, West Race did get the kill on Sion top lane while that fight was engaging. And yeah, you can see the teleport is burned. Triaskimo did try to get down there and just could not make it in time.
Oh yeah. I was actually kind of thinking that, you know, maybe if the West Coast, if they had backed off halfway through, you know, with Alistar, how low he was, Ziggs almost could have picked up the kill with his ultimate, but we did have the heal from Dyrus, so I think just a little bit too high and just a little bit too over-aggressive, not able to, you know, finish up on it and just, I don't know, pulling themselves into the AoE that Takashi has and Shyvana has.
So back to normal, back to farming. We are 15 minutes in. East Coast is up in kills 4-1. They're up 3K in gold. They've carved out a very nice position for themselves, just constantly pushing lanes. And there hasn't been much in terms of team fights, but we just had our one counter tower dive. Worked out pretty well for them.
Yeah, and with this blue buff, Takashi X is definitely going to have some great control. We will have another dragon coming up in the next minute. It should be coming up shortly, so I expect Shyvana will make her way down there and see if they can continue with that early advantage. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what, you know, the West Coast team is going to try and do to get back in this game. And we do see Morgana actually coming bottom. Is actually just going to drop a ward and then back up. I was curious if she's going to, you know, maybe gank bot, tower dive a little bit.
But Salsa, West Coast does have a ward right in front of Dragon. They also got a ward right here in this bush, so you're going to know that Lapaka is here. They don't know Ziggs is. They do about where Ziggs is. You can go ahead and satchel over the bush just to get away safely. And Mashmi has both buffs right now, pushing down his bot tower. That's the last person you want to have both buffs. Tristana. Just so much damage coming out from that gun.
And once again, another ward by Lapaka on this red buff, just completely shutting down, you know, Dan Din with that red buff control. So, you know, despite the strength of Olaf as a jungler, we actually have Mashmi jumping onto Atlanta, is going to have that red buff, chasing him down a little bit, but then Atlanta turning back, and Mashmi just getting those auto attacks off onto Janna and Atlanta, able to do some great damage there.
And Morgana's coming down, but West Coast knows about it. Just a matter of, you know, what will they do? They're just going to go in a full retreat back to second tower. Are they just giving up this first tier tower? I think they are.
Yeah, I think they want to keep it alive. They, you know how strong they are. I was kind of thinking they might take it, but they recognize that Dragon is spawning, so they want to come here, just drop it really quickly. I was going to say, it's kind of surprising, you know, Shyvana, she's a great counter jungler, but Dan not able to keep track of his jungle a little bit, and a lot of that has to do with the strength of Morgana early game. You know, he knows that he just can't engage on her. He, you know, died to her earlier in the jungle, and here we do see this is probably going to be a free dragon for East Coast.
East Coast has a dragon timer down pat. It does respawn every 5 minutes or so, right? Correct? 5 minutes?
Oh, but we have the ultimate from Dan Din, and he's not able to steal it, so he's going to have to get out of there, but we'll be fine. So East Coast able to control the dragon there. Good smite timing by Shyvana.
Nice. Good stuff. And right now, Takashi X a little bit overextended. West Race coming down. Spell shield going down to Takashi X, but the ult is coming down. Salsa, you're still caught in there. The bomb going off, but he takes him down with him. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
So Takashi X almost baiting Ziggs in, turning back into him with the ultimate, but the beautiful ultimate from Salsay, and they are actually pushing down this tower, and this is going to give them some great control. They're taking the tower. Lapaka is going to get out of there, but Sion chasing them down is going to just back off now.
He's a little bit too late to the party.
But they're able to hold on to their tower, and that's key. I mean, you know, if the West Coast can start picking up some of these objectives, that could get them back in this game, but we see Tristana just hacking away at this bot tower, and then Atlanta is going to be out of position. We have Alistar is tanking it, and then the flash from Atlanta just barely able to miss it, and there's the slow from Mashby jumping on him.
We have the buzzer shot available. We have the buzzer shot available. Where's it going?
Oh, he doesn't have enough mana, does he? He's actually going to go down, so Atlanta able to pick up the kill, and is turning on to Dyrus now. Dyrus isn't going to be able to get out of there.
Dyrus has to pop the ult. I mean, granted, it does reduce CC, but, you know, it's a 2v1 right now.
Down, so we do have the whirlwind from Nat Nguyen.
And we'll finish off.
Wow.
Wonderful work. That was such a clutch, absolutely clutch flash from Atlanta right there.
I still can't believe it. I mean, Atlanta should have been such an easy kill, but flashing as the headbutt was coming out.
The key word there being should.
Should, yeah.
You never underestimate a goose. Never, ever do that.
The artist formerly known as Goose.
So yeah, now we see West Coast. They hear the play. They're still 4K in gold behind. But, they should be taking this bot tower very convincingly, very quickly. And again, we've seen it. Salsay does have the damage to take down Takashi X when necessary. So see, now we're entering that strange, tug of war game. Where, well, we'll take a team fight, then we'll take a team fight. So it's just, once we get a full 5-on-5, we're going to see the strength of the bind. Look at that bind, all that damage going down to Jan, just absolutely melts. Atlanta being caught, Satchel going down from Salsay. Atlanta will fall on that. The bomb, Takashi X flashes a little bit too late. That is a little bit of a waste. Exhaust going down on Dan. He is being chased in the meantime. Salsay also being chased by Dyrus, but Dan really has nowhere to go.
Honestly, I was about to say that we do have a Phage onto Aurelia top lane, so Sion is not going to be able to farm top lane as well. Aurelia definitely has huge lane control there, so it'll be key for East Coast to take some objectives, get some more kills, and they are able to do it. Tree Eskimo trying to hunt down Salsay, not able to get into range. But this is another tower for the East Coast, just continuing with their advantage. West Coast almost bringing it back.
Let's race up top lane. Just farming, taking down towers. That's all we're doing. But does not have the ward coverage in the jungle to know precisely when to back off. But Westrace has an idea. Now we got the ward right here, the tri-bush.
And again, we have the hourglass onto Morgana.
Oh wait, they're doing Baron?
Wow.
This is a risky Baron. I'm not sure if I like this.
They don't have enough damage. They're gonna have to get out of there.
Oh, and they don't have the rest of the team with it. It's just 3 members of West Coast just giving it a try. Just like taking it out to dinner. Like, we're just gonna call you real quick. See, what kind of food you like to go eat. But you know what? He's gonna go ahead and back off. Takashi X is actually a little bit far overextended. The shield is up, but the shield will be going down shortly. And
Dan almost getting that axe.
West Coast trying to get the chase down, but they've successfully managed to dissuade them. They're hovering around Baron, man. I'm not sure if I like this.
Yeah, and the West Coast right now, they know they need to make plays happen, so they're trying to pick people off before they can get in fights. Once the fights happen, Takashi has that Zhonya's, couple that with the Shirelias from Dyrus, they're going to be able to just chase them down, have that great AoE damage, and if they start picking up one kill, then they'll pick up more and more, because Tristana is going to be bouncing all over the place.
Yep.
The cooldown reduction on her jump. So we'll see what's going on, but we do have East Coast coming down here, putting some pressure on mid. And then bot wants to shy away from that Baron right now.
East Coast trying to get their push, but West Coast actually also has rather good wave clearing capabilities as well. So they can't really wait for the wave and go ahead and push. Like Tree Eskimo with that shield is going to be absolutely vital when they start pushing down towers later. Just pop the shield, absorb all the turret damage, and just let everyone do their thing. Dyrus putting out the pink ward, getting down the enemy ward over at Baron. You're going to have none of that business.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious what we'll see, from the East Coast perspective. We do have the great range onto Tristana. She wants to be pushing down those towers. If they try and engage on Tristana, then they've got Alistar, they've got Sion, they've got Morgana to back it up, and they'll win those fights easily. However, like you said, Ziggs has great pushing capabilities, can clear out those waves very easily, and they're coming to this Baron once again. Shyvana was bottom. I think they're just trying to bait them into it. So East Coast just kind of pushing mid for a second here.
They still know that
Scion
the
is
bush is
split.
still warded. The Oracles is not in that bush. Dan is actually getting caught.
Wow,
Half
so some
health
great
gone,
damage from
just like that.
Mashmi.
Actually, Mashmi might actually be able to finish this. Will not rocket jump over, will not take the risk. You do not want to be taking risks like that when you're ahead. Do not want to give the enemy team any chances to try and come back.
And with the lifesteal from those Dorans, Mashmi should be fine coming back. And has plenty of damage. If you actually look at the damage, you know, Corki doing pretty well, but that Infinity Edge on Tristana is going to be huge, and they are actually coming down once again for this dragon. This will be their third dragon of the game so far. And in the meantime, West Coast is actually going up to Baron. There's no ward from the East Coast. They don't know that they're coming up here. Oh, Salse just walked in front of that ward. If they had hugged the left side of the river, they should have been able to get up there. So it's actually a pressed Baron. They don't have enough damage to do it fast enough, so this is going to be an engage for the East Coast if they stay.
They know to back off. They had that bush warded. They know when to disengage. The Trias will now run into the point. Dan did ult just in time to get rid of the stun. He will be chased away.
But how much, you know, Dan Din without that ultimate on Olaf is going to be extremely weak now.
Right.
We see a number of players for West Coast are pretty low, and the East Coast coming in to steal this blue buff. If they can keep the blue off of Ziggs, Ziggs definitely loses a lot of his poke capabilities, and they're probably actually going to push down this top lane. We do have some momentum bot lane for the East Coast, so if they hold the top...
Dyrus walking right into that bush. That's what we're talking about, those face checks. This West Ray, but will he be able to get away? He's ridiculously low, but West Ray's going to be going flashing over, finishing the job. West Ray's now focusing down on Takashi X. And right now, Mashmi's just going to go ahead and clean up everything else. So West Ray's juking the bind. West Race will be able to get away, possibly, but the stun finishing the job.
And they're trying to hunt down Atlanta here. Atlanta definitely caught off. Lapaka does have enough movement
Go,
speed. There's
Urf,
no mana. Mashmi's definitely going to be able to pick this up. There's the flash, kind of a wasted flash, though, at the same time.
Urf, you can do it.
Oh, wow. Atlanta with the Valkyrie over, and this is actually stalling out their Baron potential.
It is.
And Atlanta's actually going to get out of there because Morgana's pushing mid.
Oh, will he deny himself in time? Will he deny himself in time? I don't know. Triesco's right behind.
No.
Oh,
Triesco.
Keep chasing. You can do it.
He was caught on the creeps.
Oh, no. Will Atlanta be able to? He could deny himself just going under that tower.
He's just going to get out. He's too fast.
No, we got the flash. We got the stun. Still manages to get him. Wow.
But an 8K gold advantage for East Coast. What is the West Coast going to do? They still have a really strong late game team. They can't allow the East Coast to show them up like this, taking it 2-0 potentially.
Yeah.
So we'll see. They have the great poke from Ziggs. If they can stall out these fights a little bit, maybe force Morgana, bait her into an ultimate. But Takashi's been playing beautifully all day. I don't know if that's going to happen. They almost picked up Dyrus right away, but Aurelia kind of had to die.
Headbutts over to Salse, and Mashmi's right behind.
Salse's down.
Salse goes down. Janna ult trying to push everyone back, but the slow push will just go ahead, keep continuing. Lapaka now heading over to Baron, sweeping for wards, making sure it's clean. It is. So the rest of East Coast is now going to be hovering around up Baron area. And I think it's going to go ahead, and all the while, Takashi X is going to go ahead and push bottom as a nice little distraction.
Yeah, and they know how strong they are.
They're waiting. They got the bait. Nat. Oh, puts the ward down.
Shirelia's popping Dyrus. Can they get him?
I'm not sure if they will be able to. Dyrus slowed from the axe. Headbutts the minion just out of anger. It's like, oh, I couldn't catch you. Minion, take it. Tree Eskimo now playing point, and actually Morgana having to run away from West Rice.
But even so, I mean, they know that they have great fight control, just 4v5 or even 4v4. So pushing bottom, Takashi a little bit, knows he can control West Rice. And Lapaka coming again, stealing these Wraiths all day, counter jungling.
All day, every day, Wraith stealing. Let's do it. Mashmi now just wandering back. But yeah, there's a 8K gold lead for the East Coast. There's a lot of room that the West Coast needs to make up. Granted, if they can get Baron somehow, if they can force the Baron fight, win it, and take Baron, they can be back in this game.
But the issue is, let's look at how tanky the frontline champions are for the West Coast. They know that they have great sustain, so Zeke's Herald, it will give let them win those long sustain fights with their physical damage, but why is it on Olaf? Olaf's too squishy. We actually had the bind on Nat Nguyen, and Lapaka's going to come up, pick up this kill really easily. Morgana wasting her ultimate. That's a little bit surprising, but They know that they have so much control, they don't really need it. But again, Dan Din, having that Zeke's Herald, he's a little bit weak.
Also getting bound.
Shyvana.
Lavaka coming over in dragon form, finishing the job. Will give into Chase to Atlanta and Dan, but you know what? They're imperfect. They can just do Baron right now, no problem if they want to. But Westrice coming in, getting the board down.
All day binds by Takashi.
Good, fantastic stuff. This is why you don't let Takashi X have Morgana. It's a rule. You just don't let it happen, and Baron will fall pretty easy. But I think they're going to try. West Coast trying to feel Shirley is being popped by. Trying to get in. Flashing over Dan Din. He's in the middle. He's got his ult pop. Aurelia trying to get the shards down, trying to do as much damage as she can. Westrice posing down Dire, so Atlanta will be the first to fall. Wapaka's in the bush trying to evade Westrice, and Westrice just being surrounded. Everyone down very.
So actually a triple kill for Mashmi, and they're going to be able to take this Baron. I don't see what East or West
Janet
Coast
can
is going to do.
Janet can come into the world and steal it.
The greatest steal in the history of League of Legends.
If the Whirlwind steals it, nope. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, we actually have Dyrus headbutt pulverize. Oh, the snare almost getting that new end.
Dude, that was a whirl without desperation.
Ziggs ultimate, it's a little bit too early.
Almost stole it.
That would have been a pretty
epic
That was centimeters. Just a fraction of a second later, that could have been a stolen Baron. And West Coast, they just have no fight control right now. You know, Aurelia and Olaf aren't as tanky as they would want them to be. Ziggs can stall out lanes very easily, like we said earlier, but at this point, they're just so tanky. Sion and Alistar can just run up, tank that tower, and you know, have Tristana just push it down. She's going to be able to go by a Phantom Dancer and then almost finishing her last Whisper. So just really farmed right now, 8-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
I don't know. We'll have to see. We still have a great late game team from the West Coast, but as long as the East Coast continues to press their advantage, they just have such a strong fight team right now. They can come, take this dragon, and then push mid, and I don't know that the West Coast can engage on them. They're just going to have to let them take an inhibitor, basically.
But see, that's the problem with having a late game team comp. You have to get to the late game first. And right now, East Coast is just imposing their will everywhere on the map. East Coast is going to go ahead and take this dragon. They still have the Baron buff. We're not even halfway done with it yet. They could still wreak a whole bunch of havoc on the rest of the map. We still got an open tower over here. We got a tower over here. And that's it. Tower mid. All the tier 1s are down for West Coast.
The big thing with that Baron buff is one of the hopes of the West Coast is that they have, you know, the Ziggs harass. They have the Corki long-range harass. But the HP regen, the mana regen, will allow the East Coast to just sit at those towers all day and just push extremely aggressively. We actually have Morgana
coming down on Atlanta. Falling down.
So in the meantime, Tristana, you know, sitting in base, she actually did get both the Phantom Dancer and Last Whisper. So she's got just fantastic damage output at this point. Shyvana is, you know, twice as tanky as Aurelia and Olaf are, and Takashi's just going to continue split pushing, see if they can pull the West Coast out of position.
Well, the thing, Tristana has so much gold on her right now. It's like, oh, Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer, I think I'll hit both. I think it's a good option. And right now, Dire Slowpocket trying to push down mid. Ziggs keeping them at bay.
Tristana is actually coming up behind Aurelia. Aurelia is going to try and get out of there, but Tree Eskimo is going to find him. The Juke from Westerice, so he's going to be running back to the base. I don't know if they're just going to ignore him now or try and, I guess, chase him down, force him to suicide.
Not quite in the range to deny himself, but Mashmi is now in chase. Rocket Jump coming over.
He's got the red buff.
We got the red buff. Westerice is going to be slowed, but we got those Jukes going in and out of the bush, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Go ahead, dash over to the raids, lifestealing a little bit, but right into tower. Flashing over. Might still live.
Yeah, he's going to be able to at least deny himself.
Can he get away?
He did get away. But in the meantime, they're going to be able to push mid.
Yeah, in the meantime, like all the while Westerice is running. Minions keep pushing.
The flash in from Tree Eskimo.
Flash coming over. Atlanta Gang Stun manages to just walk away, but the tower should be going down in just a moment.
Yeah, and they've got him completely zoned now. Yep. Morgana still doesn't have flash now, so they don't have to worry about the flash ultimate, but they can just run up extremely aggressively, push down this tower, and there we go, actually having to back because Corki and Ziggs are able to clear the creeps very easily, but the next, you know, wave or maybe 2 waves from now, they should be able to take down that tower.
Yeah, that binding from Morgana 643 damage just on the initial hit. That is massive. Look at that. We have a death cap in the making. We got the Abyssal. We got the Zonias. Just AP all day on Takashi. Fantastic stuff. And the push continues in mid. Baron buff is now gone.
Ziggs is actually doing a really good job of clearing these creeps, forcing them to move to another lane, but at the same time, if the East Coast, they just move from top lane to mid lane, back and forth, then they can draw the West Coast out of position. And now, this is a little bit easier for them to Zerg on this tower. They can just run up, throw off the Morgana ultimate. Alistar can, tank that tower very easily. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Shurelya's and then just a fast engage.
They're kind of in a tricky spot right now. Takashi X trying to get the bind. Bind's a minion. Got the spell shield to protect for a little while, but he's going to wait for the minion waves and push whenever we can. East Coast now getting down. We got the shield coming from Triescan. We might have something here. Damage being poked down on the tower. Triescan will take a few shots. And now we have the string in. Dan actually getting snared there.
Yeah, oh wow.
Free shots from Mashmi. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think they're playing kind of cautiously right now. They don't want to give up this huge advantage they have, so they can just slowly push down this turret. Yeah. But I really think that if they just wanted to run up and engage on them, they would have it. But there's the snare on Atlanta.
Whoa!
And Dyrus bursting him down. Westerice is caught in the ultimate as well. And then Mashmi jumping up, not able to get Nat Nguyen, so he's going to back out. But a quick 2 kills for the East Coast. They're going to be able to take that tower and then continue pushing. This will surely be an inhibitor here.
We should be able to get this. We got the first tower shots being tanked by Triescan with the shield. This tower should be going down shortly. Mashmi actually taking a little share of damage from the Ziggs bombs, but that's okay. We got the tower down. We're gonna get the inhibitor down. Dan, what are you gonna be able to do about this? Throws an axe.
They could actually go and tank mid as well.
They could if they wanted to, but they're just gonna play it safe, take down the mid tower, go for that inhibitor next. Salsay from a distance. The bomb comes off. Mashmi's so very low. And right now, Dan's actually trying to get as much damage as he can on Lapaka, but Dyrus is being caught out. Heal goes down. Salsay does manage to get the kill on Dyrus, and actually now East Coast is in a full retreat. Dan chasing down Triescan and Mashmi will be able to get away. Triescan is your flash up. It is not. You got teleport up, though. You might be able to do something with that. Mashmi going to be recalling, trying to recall. Are we going to be risky? Are we going to risk it to try and go after Dan?
Mashmi just dropping Dan over that wall, able to force him away from Triescan.
Yep.
Nat Nguyen throwing up the ward here. I don't know if Dragon's going to be spawning shortly, but we actually do see they're able to take mid. They could maybe take a second one. Actually going to back out. But I don't know. This next push from the East Coast will probably decide the game.
Yep. I mean, that was a fantastic engage by West Coast. I mean, they nailed down one of the 2 point men on East Coast. They got rid of Alistar, got rid of Quake. They have no more tower tanking potential. They've lost a lot of their CC, and that was their time to really push and impose their will on East Coast. But they couldn't really capitalize on it very much. They got close. They almost got Mashmi. Couldn't finish it. Baron now spawning, being pinged.
West Coast is just lulling them into a false sense of security right now. They're ready to pounce at 15k behind.
Everyone's engaging. Everyone's getting ready, getting in position by the bushes over by Baron. Westerice recalling. See, now we got all the wards going down.
It is actually really easy to steal Baron with Olaf. So, if they could take a Baron, then that could quickly put them back into the game once they have the regen to couple with their poke. But I would expect that East Coast is just going to push mid. There's really no need for them to go after the Baron. They can just sit mid and allow that top lane to push. Drop this mid turret. It's basically dead already.
Yep. And if we could, if West Coast could coordinate, we got Olaf with all the damage and the Ziggs bomb. If we can get the timing just right, they could steal Baron, but right now Dan's actually face-checking that push. Gonna get stunned by Triescan. Dyrus coming in, headbutt pulverize. Dan is caught in the middle. Westerice coming in with a stun. Triescan with a flash out. Dyrus up in front, pops the ult. Mashmi blown away by Janna's ult. Triescan will go down, but right now the exhaust going down on Westerice. Dyrus will go ahead and engage on that. Dyrus cannot finish the job there, but right now Janna, Nat Nguyen, half health on that finding. Takashi X will be able to finish the jump, I don't know, but Dan Din shooting the face from Mashmi. And
that was like the best fight that they could hope for, but East Coast able to take it. They're going to take this mid inhibitor and continue with this game.
The satchel didn't shoot Salsay over the barrier. It could have been a very hairy situation right there, but you know what? East Coast now in position they should be able to get Baron pretty convincingly.
And I thought that, Takashi, he was kind of split from his team. He was sitting there at the Wolves, not sure which way to go. Doesn't really want to be playing cleanup. He wants to be there in the beginning of the fight.
Yep.
So that, they almost were able to get it off, but we actually have a Baron, and then the blind try.
It didn't steal it. Once again, just centimeters off.
Yeah, just a little bit too early. He didn't know exactly how fast they were going to kill it. So another Baron for the East Coast, and with those 2 inhibitors down, with that Baron, with the fight control, with Takashi X Morgana, it's going to be extremely tough for the West Coast to not just collapse.
This is a 17K gold lead for the East Coast, 7-23. Man, that is a huge lead. That is a huge lead.
We are starting to see a little bit of tanking potential from the West Coast players. Aurelia and Olaf are both starting to get towards that late game. I would have really liked to see a Starks, what is it called? It's the shield. I can't even think of it. No.
Oh,
well, it doesn't matter. The item to activate from Heart of Gold that has the shield. It's
Solari.
Iron Solari. Yeah. That's right. I would have liked to see an Iron Solari from their team to counter out some of this AoE damage that they have. It would have allowed them to quickly tank. We haven't really seen it from Janna, just not able to get that, enough gold in there. She's working on her Shirelias still, but because they've been so far behind, they haven't had those options.
Base check right there. Wester's going to catch Takashi right there. Ultimate is available. Hourglass going down. Danzig cannot be disabled. He's got the ult up. Takashi X will actually follow this. Atlanta being chunked out. Mashby will be in pursuit. Will manage to get the Manatee.
And there it goes. Even with the perfect engage on Takashi, they were able to catch him out of position. They just can't win these fights.
Pushing it right up the mid. East Coast should be able to take this one pretty convincingly.
So, East Coast 2-0, the champions of South by Southwest. We actually have Aurelia coming in here, is going to drop very quickly.
We got the Nexus. The Nexus is being attacked.
Roar.
And all the wards. Look at all the wards. And is that a heart? Is that a ward heart? I think it is.
That might be a ward heart. But East Coast, congratulations, able to take it. Southwest champions, 4,000